Hey, good morning, Ed. What you doing, Eddie?
All right, well, I'm more out. We done?
Let's start the show, baby.
With 50-plus years of combined produce, supply chain, entrepreneurial, and business experience, Craig Slade and Ed Bertod discuss the impacts of fresh produce on their lives and health. This podcast is a casual conversation between two friends just trying to get better. This is the Fresh Cred.
Good morning, Ed. How are you, buddy? Welcome to another wonderful Sunday morning here on the Easy Listening Classics.
Yeah, which, by the way, I'm going to have to start going to church soon, so we're going to have to figure out another day to do this.
What do you mean? You told us that like 25 episodes ago.
I know, but I've just been, holding off.
Thinking.
Yeah, just been thinking about it.
Is Phil still in action?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your church?
Yeah, we went to Sunday service, and that was Christmas Eve. That was the last time we went.
Well, you can be one of the CEV.
What's that?
Is it CEV Christians? CE.
Is that the Trinity Broadcast Network? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Christmas,
it's
Easter.
Valentine's Day.
Well, yeah, nobody goes around. It's not CEV. It's CE. What the C?
CE4, 4th of July?
So it's Christmas, Easter, and
New Year's?
Mother's Day. CEM. Yeah, CEM Christian.
What's the E? Easter.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we used to, back when we were at the old Royce City Methodist Church, we knew that we had to have extra chairs on those 3 days. It was for all the CEM Christians. I guess I'm not even in that club now. I keep finding my way to.
It's so wild that we went
I don't
to
know.
church like multiple times a week growing up, and now don't like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
They're retired.
Yeah,
I hit so many out here.
Retired from church and retired from cooking.
I hit several here, and I actually found one that I was going to, and then the COVID thing hit, and boy, that really knocks you out of a routine. And then we all started this show. So
yeah.
Hey, but you know what? I told you. I mean, I may not be going, but reading the Bible, reading through the Old Testament, reading through the New Testament. Hadn't got to the New Testament yet. It's taking me a while to get through the Old Testament. So
You prefer the doom and gloom stuff.
I guess.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's some hard stuff to wrap your mind around. All right, well, hey, Ed, I'd like to say good morning to you, buddy. It's been a kind of a rocky start here to January for the old Fresh Cred. We've been kind of on and off. We've had a couple of things trip us up, coming out of the holidays. But here we are. Good to see you. How are things?
As good as could be expected.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So expected. So as good as could be expected. So where is your expectation level? Is it Ed high, Ed medium, Ed low? Where's your expectation, buddy?
My expectation, medium.
Medium.
Yeah.
And so it's it's kind of medium. It's as good as, so it cannot exceed medium because it can only be as good as you expect it to be.
Yeah. Well, I had better expectations during the holidays, thinking, hell, I'm going to hit the ground running first week of the year, and then we got sick.
Yeah.
So that kind of screwed things up. And then, there's always the added euphoria of the holidays. It's kind of a strong word, but yeah.
It's a good word.
To measure
I like
up
euphoria.
to.
That's a good word.
After the holidays are over, it's the best time of the year, right? Holidays. It's the best time of the year. Yeah. It really
Wait a
is.
second. Come on.
It is.
Now I'm going to challenge you on that because I'm going to tell you right now. Nope. I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to retract that statement.
The most magical.
The best time of the year for Ed Bertod is the last week of October and the first week of November. That's the best time of the year for Ed Bertod.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
No.
Okay. So, holidays may be the second best time of the year for Ed Bertod, but last week of October, first week of November, best time of the year. If you had to take off Christmas, but not take off those 2 weeks. You'd take off Christmas, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, that's what I've been thinking about.
Yeah. So you should.
It seems like every year my patience to wait for that trip again grows shorter and shorter. I mean, been having some crazy thoughts like property up there and just stupid things like online.
So that's funny you mentioned that because, Tanya and I, we delved off into your Yellowstone show here yesterday, actually, as recent as yesterday. We caught a couple of episodes of that.
So you're season 1?
I'm in season 1. I believe we got through 3. 2 for sure, maybe 3. They're kind of long. I'm going to tell you that. Right?
Like your podcast.
Touche. Yes.
So
in fact,
let me ask, which of you is the one more person? Like just one more? Because we find ourselves now, I'm through all 4 seasons, and my disclaimer is I watched about half an episode early on. Like during the first season, I watched while it was first season in real time. I watched like half an episode. I'm like, this isn't for me. As much as I like the outdoors and the West and, all that cowboy stuff and ranching and like love it. Right. I watched it and I thought it was too much like a soap opera for me to like it. So then fast forward, friends told me, hey, you're going to love it. You should watch it. You should try it, yada, yada. And then we watched 1883, and that's what really kind of inspired us to figure out, the whole rest of the story. So we start watching it, and all of a sudden it's 3 episodes a night for the last 3 weeks, and we're now through all 4 seasons. We just watched the last episode last night, so the last episode of season 4. My pro tip is do not watch it more than an hour before you go to bed, because for me, I get all like pumped up from all the violence, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a hugely violent person, but it just gets me all amped up, right? I mean, I was joking the other day, like I watched Rip, beat somebody up, and I went to the gas station afterwards and bumped into somebody to see if he'd say anything.
No, you didn't.
Wind up getting my butt kicked over this freaking show because I'm all pumped up, I think. And then the other thing is don't take melatonin after watching this. If you're someone that has wacky dreams on melatonin like me, don't watch the show and take melatonin because you'll have some wild dreams. And that's what happened to me.
Some people might be into that though.
Well, you might a couple times, but not like 3 weeks straight.
So that's a good. So what you just described there.
I mean, I woke up in a cold sweat from a dream where I was like trying to hide a body or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the intensity is crazy. I will say that it is a super intense show. In just so many levels, but particularly not just the violence, just everything is like, so it amps you up, no doubt. So for Tanya, she's not a big fan of that. Me, I seldom
she lives
stay,
with you.
I seldom stay amped. I'm always looking for a way to amp myself up because I find myself not amped enough.
Yeah,
and so I kind of thrive on getting amped up like that. Whereas Tanya, that gives her anxiety. So we watched the first one, and she's like, let's not watch another one. One of those, I don't know if I can take another one or something to that effect. I said, we got to watch one more. We got to keep it going. So I was the one more guy. You know what? The beauty of it is I've even got some Yellowstone bourbon that I purchased a week or so back. So I had me a Yellowstone old fashioned while watching Yellowstone, so it was perfect.
That's the beauty?
That's the beauty.
Oh, okay.
I've only caught like little bits because Laura's been watching it. But there was a point where, because they're trying to build that development, right? She's like real early on.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, spoiler alert. But it reminded me of you, Craig. One of the dudes that's doing the building, or he's like enamored by the landscape.
Guys playing golf. Yeah.
Because as we were coming down the mountain at Santa Fe, Craig's like, they're not doing this right. Like, you need some luxury up here. You need to have, stinking bars and, shops.
freaking
And he's
wilderness.
like, we'll just buy half the mountain, cut most of these freaking trees down. And I'm just like, oh my God.
That's what, well, the line in there. And so Kevin Costner asked the old boy, he's like, who the hell wants to live in Montana in a freaking condo anyway? Of course, Tanya's like, and I'm like, hell yeah. I was like, who the hell wants to live somewhere you got to work every day? It's like, hell with all that bullshit. Just sit there and enjoy it and not have to freaking cut no trees or do shit. Go dip your toe in the water and go back to the hot, warm condo. So we watch another series called Succession, so the thing I'm noticing about a lot of these things, they're all, I think I can write a mini series now because they're all kind of the same way. They have this overpowering father. He's super successful. He's built this thing. He's probably not built it with the most ethical, way of doing it. He's got these kids that have lived in this wonderful luxury, but it's all these fine family dynamics of everybody, challenged with each other. And so the weird deal is, it's like, yeah, these shows are all kind of like built around the same theme. There's another one besides Succession. There's this one. What's the other one? There's another one that I thought of that we had watched. Long and short of it's good, but I want to get back to property that you're seeking out. And, in the show, it talks about condos and who would want to be in a condo in Montana. Oh, it's Wyoming, isn't it? It's not Montana. It's Wyoming.
Montana.
Correct? It is Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's Montana. So there's a question like who, Kevin Costner asked, who would want to live in a condo in Montana? And of course, Tanya, I was like, hell, we would. We don't want to live on a freaking bunch of land and have to work all this time. But we thought Ed would, though. That's the kind of crazy something he'd want. He'd want all this land and be out there chopping wood and raising. So our thought,
that house is just like, wow.
But our thought was maybe you could buy the property, right? And you could live out your dream, hacking wood and raising horses and stuff. And we would just get a little condo there. And
First
Tanya,
of all, the dream is you have people for that.
Yeah.
Okay, just like
he
Kevin
wants to
Costner
own a
does.
ranch.
You have
he
people
wants
for
to
that.
be the ranch master. Have all his little ranch hands running around doing all the.
Yeah, and then when you want to play, cowboy, you go out there and just like Costner does it, or John. So that's where some things don't add up, right? Because, first of all, they don't have enough cattle to have that much money. It doesn't equal out the size of the ranch, the amount of cattle they have, like that all. Somebody threw in one of the early episodes that, he had more land than the state of Delaware, where that's something people throw around, or Rhode Island. That's what people throw around about the King Ranch. King Ranch is over 800,000 acres in Texas. That is bigger than Rhode Island. I mean, you can drive for like 40 minutes and or an hour and not lose sight of the King Ranch. And that's not all the property in the U.S. that they have. So that stuff doesn't add up. But by and large, and this was a point I was going to make, because there is a lot of authenticity. The creator is the guy that plays, and I don't even know if he's been introduced yet as far as you've been seeing it, but you'll see him. He's a guy that comes and brings a bunch of cutting horses to the ranch. His name's Travis in the show, but his real name's Taylor Sheridan, and he's the creator, and he's a real horseman. He's into the whole Western world, and he's as much as he is into screenwriting and creating. So I suspect, I don't know the whole story, he probably started early as some sort of consultant, as an expert with Costner on another movie, years ago, and his career grew from there. But he wrote Hell or High Water, Wind River. He was David Hale on Sons of Anarchy, if you like that show. So he's pretty legit, all the way around. So that's why you get a lot of authenticity in the show. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's a good kind of barometer.
So I got no idea whether they've got enough cows or not. We both did spot it looked like a dairy farm which the cows that they're raising aren't dairy cows. I told Tony, I said, well, maybe they got dairy cows as well. But Montana's really not known for dairy cows, but there's a scene where maybe it's not a dairy, but it sure looked like one. And then the cows they're raising aren't dairy cows. So
I mean, it could also be just that. I mean, dude's obviously got a lot of money, and even if he's not actively doing cattle now, I mean, if it's like
it's ill-gotten gains. That's what it is.
You're talking about in the show, right?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, but still, it's not like
he got it ill-gotten.
So when they threw around the size of the ranch, like ranches that big in Texas, they literally have camps, like towns almost, like throughout, because the areas are so large.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So somebody threw around how large that fictitious, ranch is, and it doesn't add up because all the action happens pretty much right there, right by the house. And that just, it doesn't. But other than that,
he's not
it's pretty
paying for
cool.
labor. He's not paying for labor. He's taken all of his land from the Native Americans. So his expenses are extremely low. So he could make all that money with a few heads of cow if you got no expenses.
I mean, maybe he leases out a lot of this
Just
stuff.
call him. No. You all got to watch a show before you start.
Yeah, I don't know.
speculating.
I'm just telling you, I've seen the first part of it. He goes out, finds random losers, brands them. They become his employees. And then
Well,
obviously he takes the land from the Native Americans. And they're not happy about
but
it.
taxes.
They're up a
is
rising.
the taxes on something like that does not discriminate. Rather, even if you take in consideration, homesteaded, grandfathered, 3 generations, like all those expenses were made early on, there's still taxes to be.
We should get you. Do you know that guy that does the show, John, or the guy from Texas? Do you know him?
Okay.
The guy that does the show, the guy,
The creator?
Yes.
No, I don't know him. I know.
Which,
I just gave you his name. I mean, I know who he is.
well, why don't you reach out to him?
Oh, you want me to call him? The creator of Yellowstone? You want me to call that guy?
Yeah,
I think you should.
Let's get him on the pod real quick.
That's what I'm getting at. We could get him on the show.
Oh,
Then you
yeah.
pretend to be him.
I've never seen him on anything else.
Hello,
would be
this
a
is
great way
John.
for him to get his name out there.
Yeah, I can just pretend to be the guy. We'll deep fake the guy's face. Be like, oh yeah, Costner, he was a great guy.
So yeah, well, Ed could challenge him on on how he's the credibility of his writing.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Tell him, look, dude, how does this guy make all his damn money? I mean, you've not really defined that. You just got him out there with 40 heads of cow, and you couldn't freaking
In one pasture that's visible from the house.
Yeah,
30 people working for you.
I just
know?
pictured
And a-
Ed getting this guy on the ropes. He's like,
Yeah, exactly.
just stammering. He doesn't know what to say.
And about
Sweating.
$1 million worth of pickups.
Yeah, and all those ATVs and stuff. Like, so
$50,000 freaking trailers, $100,000 trailers.
I didn't understand. Like, they took the horses, man, but they've obviously got like some badass like 4-wheelers or in 4x4s. Like, why wouldn't they just screw the horses, man?
Because horses are much more romantic in story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is few people do it that way anymore.
I was
I mean,
gonna say most people
we-
are doing the 4-wheeler program.
we hauled some cows from just south of Big Bend outside of Presidio once, talking 30 years ago almost. And the rancher had 2 cowboys and a helicopter. And that's how he rounded up. And that's all he needed. And some dogs. That was super efficient. So yeah, it's not real practical, but it's fun. I mean,
I just
they're
got a
doing it
great idea.
the real way.
So we need to get the Fresh Cred boys out at a dude ranch. I would
I'd love
I would love to see that. I'd love to cover that. We should that's got to be a video that we do at some point.
Say when.
I mean, it's going to be hard, I think,
That's a
convincing
line from the movie,
Craig
by the way.
to do
Just
that.
say when.
Say when.
Is that Doc
Just say
Holliday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tombstone.
Who should have won a Grammy for that role, by the
oh
way.
my God.
Didn't win a damn thing.
Yeah,
I'll be your huckleberry.
with the cup.
Johnny Ringo.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, let's don't. Anyway, yeah. So, Dude Ranch. So, hell, Ed's probably got one next door to him, or not used to.
I know
guess
one
not
we can
now.
go to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The girls did it last year for their school trip or something like that. They had a lot of fun. I didn't get to go, but it was
That
outside
sounds
of
like a good one
Bandera.
for me. If the girls,
Yeah, they got to like ride. They got to ride to breakfast every morning. Like they'd ride from their cabin on a horse down to like a creekside breakfast, and it was a whole thing. They really liked it. But you could have varying levels of interactivity. Like if you want to rope or ride or do whatever, you can do anything you want.
I rode a horse a few times. My friend Brienne, growing up, she had a horse, and yeah, we would ride it around the pasture. It was fun.
Yeah, they're fun until they decide they don't want to do what you want to do. They do their own thing.
Well, they're a lot of fun. The problem is you can't have a lot of hobbies when you're into horses. They're very demanding, take a lot of time unless you just pay somebody to take care of everything for you, which is a whole other discussion. So Yellowstone, we digressed. You're watching Yellowstone. I'm happy.
I'm drinking Yellowstone bourbon with it.
You're drinking Yellowstone bourbon. That's
can't
solid.
watch a cowboy show without bourbon.
Yeah, somehow I have managed to do that, but
yeah, because you drink ranch water.
The last pod we did, I had a couple drinks the night before. Had nothing between then and last night. And I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking about you. I mean, you
gonna put this on me somehow? You gonna tie this back to my fault?
Let's have a glass of wine with dinner. And you know what? It was horrible. I mean, the wine was okay, but I had 2 glasses and that was it. Like it sounded like a good idea. I could taste it like poisoning my system as it was going down. Like I knew I was gonna, between the histamines and the freaking sulfates. I knew today I was gonna struggle with.
What about the antioxidants?
I ate grapes. I mean,
you hate them?
I eat grapes all the time. I have all antioxidants. I had some dried cranberries too. But yeah, that's what winos tell themselves.
No,
I think it's funny that
this one.
I didn't read that book. Things that winos tell themselves to justify drinking wine.
I justify it by I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the extent. It is absolutely a poison. All alcohol is a poison. So if you choose to drink it, you drink it because you like it and you're willing to consume poison.
Well, put up with the. Yeah.
I picture Ed doing the association where you got to say the first word that comes into your mind.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you held up a picture of either a picture of Craig in front of Ed, what his association would be, or a wine bottle in front of Ed.
With arms.
It'd be the same.
Yeah, it'd be the same association. Oh, Craig.
Yeah. So what else is happening in the world of Ed? January's off to a start.
It's a start. Yeah.
Yeah.
No descriptives, just a start.
Really?
Yeah, just a start.
I feel like I mean, what did you say? So the illness set you back that much? I mean,
no, it just was. It was a disruption. Yeah,
so did you set out with like? Because I'm trying to remember on our other pod, I don't remember you having. I talked about my resolution.
Well, it's not just me. I mean, it's screwed up a lot of people. I mean, you've screwed up things I want to do with other people, or meetings, or just different stuff like.
Now we're getting
then weather and home projects, and just like everything seems to just get screwed up or delayed, or out of stock. Windows, 12 weeks to get a damn window. I mean, just stupid stuff.
You getting a new window?
We're getting some new windows. Yeah,
it's gonna take 12 weeks.
Gotta wait. Yeah, gotta wait 12 weeks for them. What do you think of that?
Well, Tanya has been looking for a car, a particular van, the old
Grocery getter?
Chrysler Pacifica. I mean, you think like a soccer mom, right? That's what everybody. It's like when everybody said this. if you've never driven one, I mean, they're super nice. And they've just gotten nicer. So that's number one. But she's got to carry her art and stuff. So she's got to have a vehicle that's practical.
I have some advice for you.
All right. Is it for me or for her?
Both.
Okay.
Watch some off-center impact videos in testing minivans, and it'll scare the crap out of you. Off-center impact, meaning not straight head-on, but off-center. Yeah, the engine's usually like in the back seat. And, you know, any bad enough accident, an accident is bad enough, you can have something like that happen. But I think it's exacerbated by the design. Not only are you in, you know, basically a tin can, a tube, you know, it's like basically, I think the deflection of that actual structure is not real good. But just check it out. I mean, I just don't think, I don't think they're practical, but I think maybe for surface streets, but I wouldn't like haul it down the highway at 80 miles an hour for any extended period of time on one of those things.
Great.
That's just me.
I'm just thinking, what do you do in your free time?
Believe me, not looking that stuff up, but I watched 2020 episode once, and it was all about, you know, minivans and the safety of minivans. And I'm sure they've come a long way and they have airbag curtains and all this crap, but it's just not, yeah.
But that one episode of 2020's pretty much put you no van for
I'll tell you what, I'll pull up some videos and send them to you. And you can show them.
Something tells me you probably have done more research than now you want to admit, because when I asked the question, what do you do with your free time? You're thinking, my God, am I looking at
but they're practical. They are practical, you know, but you know, get her one of these mid-sized pickups, and they have these really cool like utility bed inserts with drawers and all kinds of stuff, almost like, you know, she's a lineman or something working on the, you know,
get her electrician's truck. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Like with a utility bed on it.
Yeah, sure. Now I'll put that out there and see what she thinks. So, yeah. Hey, you know what? All I'm saying, it doesn't really matter if what you're looking for. If you're looking for anything in the vehicle family, it's not available. It is the most insane. You go to a car lot. I mean, I've talked to a couple of these guys at the car lot, and I was like, what do you do? What's your day
email
like?
People with cars to try to buy them from, because I've been getting emails on 2 of our vehicles for like 6 months now. Now it's become on a weekly basis from sales associates and assistants. Hey, so-and-so about your this and that vehicle, you know, wondering if you want to sell it, you know, I mean, it's the time to sell a vehicle. It's just not time to buy one.
Right. Well, it's coming to an end, Ed. Young people, I guess people in general think this is the way the world lasts forever. It does not. There eventually will be so many cars that they can't sell them.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be people that bought all these cars that will be like, I can't afford it. I'm giving it back.
It's just like houses. But the trick will be to hit that sweet spot where your trade-in is still worth a good amount and you can get a deal on the other.
And that's where the tricky
I like large vehicles, so, you know, fuel, you know, if diesel gets to $4 a gallon, you know, it'll help the cause a little bit.
It's going to 5, baby. Better get ready. So people are going to be hitching a ride with me in the Fusion.
Yeah.
Carpool. Remember Carpool? So anyway, yeah, the supply chain, the shortages of stuff, insanity. Nothing like I've ever seen. Nothing like I've ever seen. I take it back. When I was a kid in the 70s, sitting in gas lines, food was ridiculous. It was kind of a weird time back then. You know, I mean, I was old enough to remember most of it.
Yeah.
So,
hell, my dad tried to install a diesel tank on our property, and I'm talking like something a gas station would have, until I guess the EPA found out about it or something. Somebody narked on him. I didn't think much of it. I mean, I was a kid, so
yeah.
But yeah, he actually thought he could just dig a hole and
put
a big old tank in there.
Put a tank in there.
I'm talking about a massive, like I couldn't even tell you how many gallons this thing was, because I don't know. I mean, it was maybe 3 or 4 times taller than me. I mean, it was
But,
huge.
but that's got to be California law, because I can almost guarantee you could do that elsewhere. Texas.
Yeah, well, even back then in the 80s, you know, it was still frowned upon.
Because, I mean, plenty of ranches have these big, I mean, not the size
They're
you're talking about, but above ground.
But
Yeah.
they're above ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
below ground.
and maybe that's the difference.
Yeah.
Most ranches always have a a trash area where they dig a hole in the ground,
Burn pile.
burn piles or whatever. So
yeah, people still burn trash here. I mean, right? Or you know, somebody was burning some citrus
Tires.
trees. No, some citrus trees here recently. They put a big pile of trees that had died over from the last freeze, last year or whatever. Yeah, and the smoke was coming right towards our house in our neighborhood, and people are freaking out on our community deal. But I mean, it was outside of. It's actually we're right on the kind of the between the city limits and the county, so they're free to do it. I mean, you can't stop them.
well,
Yeah, it's a little different. I don't think you can do that in California.
well, how has your eating been since?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. My exercise is what's been down a little, like dedicated exercise. Usually for me, if I just eat right, I can be busy or just, play golf or work out a couple times a week, and that's enough. But I feel like I need to do some more targeted exercise. So a friend of ours, Brian Tate, I think I talked to you about, he was going to send me his Whoop. We talked about the Whoop.
Yeah, we did.
He sent me his Whoop. So going to activate it. I told you about how that works, right? They upcycle.
Yes, sir.
So he got a new model, and they encourage users to upcycle. This is the band. It's a stretchy band.
Right.
I guess this was an extra because it was new. I opened it from this package. And he didn't charge me anything for it. Not like when you send me stuff. You usually send me like a bill. But
Well, you know what? Maybe Brian's got more money than I do.
well, we'll have to see.
I have to freaking charge for things.
But this
to
is
stay
2
alive.
months free with this upcycle program, so I thought that was
Right.
kind of cool. The problem is it's $30 a month after that.
Ooh.
But I didn't pay for the wearable.
You know
So
what that translates $30 a month. That's
yeah.
$360 a year, cowboy.
Yeah. So I've got 2 months to figure out if the data from this is worth
$360.
$360 a year of service fees. But I didn't pay for this, right? And I think it's really cool. So like it's got this charger that once I don't have it put together, but so this charger, you put it on while you're wearing the thing. So you charge the charger, this thing, and this is the 3, not the 4. Like the 4.0 is the newest version. That's what he got. So he had this and thus the upcycle program. But of all the reviews that I watched, I think the general consensus is that you've got to be a pretty serious athlete. Like I'm a fitness enthusiast at best, I think, from the reviews that we watched, this is for pretty hardcore, either professional athletes or like folks that run marathons and stuff like that,
Or
because
Brian Tate.
it's, I mean, he works out pretty hard. So,
Whoop, there it is.
it's not, how many steps you took. It literally measures strain. I guess it's a calculation of, heart rate and physical activity and rest and all this stuff and how much strain you put on your body. So the metric is strain, like how much strain you're putting on your cardiovascular system, all that stuff in a good way. In other words, you want
prison workouts.
You want to strain
that's
yourself.
gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
see
you
what
want to
that's
strain
doing.
yourself.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I'm concerned about is the sleep, because I know I don't get enough sleep. So this month, I'll probably activate it today. These 2 months we'll have free. The first month, however, is pretty much establishing a baseline.
Yeah.
So really you only get a month of real feedback. So I guess I'll be able to cancel it if I don't like it. But
Well, you gotta keep us up. We gotta figure out how do we track Ed's Whoop.
Yeah. Well, definitely, like, it'd be interesting to get, like, the stats to see, like, how you like the service, if it's giving you any insight that you... I think it'd be something interesting to have to see you take on like one of your trips, like in October that rolls around. That'd be kind of an interesting with all the
He'll have
hiking.
canceled it by then. He won't still have it, Mason. He's not going to have the membership come October. I can already tell you.
No,
I
but
can tell you,
at the end of
the
February,
one
we're
metric
going-
Ed's focused on is the $30 a month, and he's only trying to measure, is this worth $30 a month? After 2 months of it, I'm going to put $30 on the line that says Ed votes against it.
You think
Okay.
so, huh? Wow.
I think Ed votes against it.
So how does it work? How does it work
you've
if I
got
put
roles
money
reversed?
into the same?
So originally, if this opportunity of an upcycle hadn't come to me, I would subscribe and they would send the hardware, right? So the difference is you don't pay for an Apple Watch, or you're paying the monthly subscription, the hardware's free. So that's kind of the way it works.
Speaking of Apple Watch, so I think I'm probably getting rid of my Apple Watch. I've been looking at going back to like a regular watch. I've been looking
I've
at
got a
Hamilton.
Whoop for sale.
I don't want a Whoop. I don't want no damn Whoop right now. You know what? I may go back to my Fitbit, but no, hear me out. I think I'm going to go back to actually a watch. I know that's kind of like going back in time, but I'm looking at these Hamilton watches, which are pretty nice. And I think I'm going to get me a watch I think watches are nice.
So you just want a timepiece.
I want a timepiece. I want something on the wrist. I'm not a jewelry guy, but I like watches. Watches are nice. And Ed used to be a big watch guy. Yeah. So I think I'm going to try and figure out, I may actually go to the Oura Ring, because I'm not a ring guy, but I don't like the concept of a watch or a wristband on both hands either. That's kind of annoying. So if I go to regular watch wearing again, then I got to come up with a way to measure my metrics with something that's not a watch. So, what I ultimately want is like something that's plugged into my body.
Yeah, a little microchip.
Yeah. That's where I'm going eventually. I don't have to wear anything. So,
have you seen this thing that these devices now that you breathe into that measure your metabolism and then tell you what you're lacking, whether it's protein, carbs? Have you seen any of these things like Lumen? Huh?
No. Is it a keto monitor?
Kinda. Yeah.
I've seen those.
It's in the keto monitor family, but yeah. I guess they're selling as a metabolism booster, so I guess it's in the keto family of.
They're probably using the metrics because it's the same way. That's I always wondered if you could get a DUI when you're fasting, because when a keto monitor is similar to the thing you blow on in a breathalyzer. Having super high ketones can actually give a false reading in terms of alcohol in your blood.
So you're saying that a person that is going through a pretty big fast with a lot of these ketones could blow a false positive.
I don't know that for fact. That's a question I have. I've wondered that because like I say, the monitoring systems are similar.
Mason said that like an old person. A lot of these ketones.
All these ketones.
Did you see it on the internet?
That's how I felt trying to navigate Facebook.
Can you go onto your machine and check out the internets for me on the computer?
So yes, the ketones can, I do believe, trigger. I think that they will So in other words, I don't believe a breathalyzer necessarily it distinguishes between blood alcohol and alcohol. What do they call it? Alcohols? But I do believe, Mason, you could potentially blow illegal with a super high level ketones. That's something somebody should do some research on.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, so maybe you could look that up. But yeah, I think that's possible. So yeah, no, Ed, I've seen those deals. Like I say, my ketone monitor is the blood kind. I opted out of the breathalyzer kind versus the blood.
Probably because they're super expensive, right?
No, hell no, it's breathalyzer thing. This ketone machine I got's not cheap.
What's not cheap?
$300, $350.
That's what these breathalyzer ones are.
Yeah,
we're breathing.
Yeah, but but
there's one that's $880.
They'd be telling me something good. But I know what my ketones. I know when my stuff kicks in, like in a fast. I know when my stuff kicks in, and when I get into serious ketone mode, 3 to 4 days in, I'm in massive ketone mode.
So from the very surface level that I've gotten into this research, it does appear that that's the case, that it will actually inflate the test results and show that there's alcohol in the system.
Yeah. So just be careful. Any of you ketone cowboys out there, if you're all hyped up on the high level ketones, don't ketone and drive.
This is what I want for Valentine's Day, Craig. I want one of these things. A metabolic breath analyzer. So just in generic terms, all these things are metabolic breath analyzers.
Mm-hmm.
But this is pretty cool. I didn't even know this existed until I saw the commercial, but I didn't know it was
what's
the
the
same
name
thing.
of it? Why don't you? Are you going to put it up
I'm
on
just
the
saying,
screen?
like, these
You're just gonna tell us
are
what it is?
No. These are like just a generic term of these products that we've been talking about. Like one of them's called Lumen, another one's called something
I'll
else.
pull some up, Craig.
They are metabolic breath analyzers. So, and that's basically what performs the analysis.
You should get one of those.
Of whether or not, like if you're fasting, are you really fasting when you have your cup of coffee, and you can measure, right? The accuracy or the effectiveness, I guess, if you will.
Well, again, I think they're. I mean, they're. I don't know what kind of information they all get from the breathalyzer. I'd be curious to know. I have to look and see what all they're able to pull from that, but they may but just be extrapolating data out of your ketone levels and calling that metabolic health. Like I say, I can track my ketones. It's a much more. I mean, it's not a ridiculous process, but for me, I have to prick my finger and then stick it on a strip and then sticks it in a machine.
That sounds like fun.
I have a cholesterol monitor where you prick your finger and you can get your all three of your cholesterol scores, LDLs, HDLs, tris, and you got to make sure if you're buying, make sure you can actually get all three of those. There's a way to calculate tris just from the combination, but for accuracy standpoint, spend the money, get one that does all three. And then, I have a sugar / and it's ketone. It's actually main ketone, but I do sugars as well. So I can do sugars and ketones. And that one I use more than the cholesterol one, to be honest with you. Cholesterol doesn't change that much unless you're doing your diet differently. I got that originally on when I was trying to get my cholesterol in good shape. But the ketone one, I think, is worthwhile, the investment, because you can learn a lot about if you're getting into fasting and trying to see when you get into ketosis, and you're trying to see, how your body progresses when you're in the midst of a fast. It's a great way to monitor that, because I looked at it. But you only need to do it. I mean, that's the only problem with these things is, once you kind of learn your baseline, learn where you're at, you then know what it is.
But is it good for intermittent fasting or just long term like you do?
Well, so I guess it's both. In other words, if you're curious to know where your ketone levels get when you do just a intermittent fast or short term, you can see your body really doesn't, or at least mine doesn't, and I'd say it's probably, you don't really get into ketosis with intermittent fasting. Right. I mean, you don't have time enough. For me to start getting into a decent ketosis, I need to go at least 24 hours without eating. And then it's just a mild ketone level. But the other thing you can do is food choices, right? So, you don't have to be fasting. You can do a combination of an intermittent fast and then super low sugar or no sugar, no carb diet, right? And you can see what you have to do to get into ketosis, right? You can kind of take a look at it that way. I've never used it for that. I've only used mine for the fasting piece of it. I've always operated from a mildly ketosis diet. Most, I try and avoid sugars at all costs, but not completely on the carb situation. I still eat rice and stuff like that.
Maybe I can just rent yours.
You know what? I could sell you mine.
Oh, God, I'm sure you can.
and then I would charge you a membership. So I'll give it to you at half price. Or you know what? I can do what Tate's doing. I'll send you mine for free and then charge you $30 a month.
Well, he's gonna get a free month out of it. Don't make him out to be too much of a saint.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what. But
He got the better version, and now he's gonna get a month out of it because I'm gonna upcycle it. And now I think if I get hooked on it, and a big part of it is it's just about. I think this is big with like CrossFitters and guys that do that kind of stuff because
that's you.
It's about recovery. Right.
Yeah.
It's like optimizing your recovery and, optimizing your performance. Right. There's a lot of oxygen level and heart rate values and the strain and the sleep. And it's a calculation. I mean, if you just want a step counter, that's not going to work. So I'll probably still wear that. But I'm going to try it out. See if I like it. If it's worth $30 a month, it's going to have to be really cool to be worth $30 a month for me. Because that's like Paramount, Amazon Prime, and maybe one other channel right there I could get for $30 a month. Anywho,
and God knows more television is what you need.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that's during
There's
those
no
hours
longevity
that
in
most
TV.
people sleep. That's when I'm watching this stuff. You make it sound like I'm sitting around watching TV all day. I don't do that. I'm watching it from like 11 to 1 or 10 to 1 when I should be sleeping.
Yeah.
Not that makes it any better.
Yeah, that you're damaging your health. That's maybe the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, well,
But it's helping his mental health.
Oh, it's not
exactly.
But no. But see, the thing
shit.
is that it does, Craig, because I mean, it does. It's something that he enjoys, and while, I mean, he learns stuff. Maybe he picks up a thing or two.
He went to the convenience store to pick a fight because of the show he watched. You're telling me that's helping him?
For that.
It's helping his mental health.
Was that
Come
a
on.
real thing? You actually bumped into some dude?
Full disclosure, I went there for Copenhagen. I didn't go there to get in a fight.
God.
I was lucky.
Probably
Just wait.
Probably some little dude in there.
Tell
He's
me
just
when you're done.
Getting
Tell
a
me when
hot
you're done.
dog. Here's freaking big ass head. Hey, pardon me, son. You
tell
want
me
some
when
of this?
Tell me when you're done with episode 1. Let's see if you haven't gotten in a scuffle by then.
Episode 1. Oh,
I
got
mean,
you.
season 1. Once you're
Season
done
1.
through
Yeah,
season
yeah.
1,
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. He makes you want to go out there and kill some people. That's for sure. It's great. It's certainly
yeah.
good for my mental health.
All
right, so look,
it's been more than once that I've said something to my wife, and she says, "You're not allowed to watch Yellowstone anymore."
So, all right, we're in the throes of food. What you be eating?
Well, snacks, tons of snacks.
Good
Yeah.
snack, man.
Plantain, sea salt. I don't know if you can see this.
Uh-huh.
Sunrise Farms. Anyway, I know you're not a big sugar guy in whatever form, but
Correct.
mere mortals, we have to have, our little, I wouldn't say cheat days. This is cholesterol free, no artificial flavors.
How much
colors,
sugar does it have in it,
preservatives.
Dad? I want to know what the sugars are on the back.
Let me tell you the calories. Okay, so a serving size is 32 pieces, only 150 calories. That's not too bad. 0 added sugars.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, you don't need to add sugar to a damn plantain. It's full of it.
That's all it says on it about sugars, honestly.
So it doesn't have a breakdown of stuff.
Well, yeah, it has a breakdown, but
How many grams of
all it
sugar is
says is total sugar 0 grams includes 0 grams added sugar 0%. That's it, man. No sugar.
Carbohydrates in. Does it have a carbohydrate number?
It does. 19 grams. 7%.
Grams of carbs. All right. So they're putting your sugars in carbs.
Well, that's pretty
The
crafty.
sugarless
Anyway,
plantain chips.
look, like I said, us mere
I get
mortals,
it.
we have to have our sugar fix once in a while. This is better than eating
It damn sure is. That's a
donut?
better choice. That's a good joke.
This is a better choice. Okay,
That's
it's all about
absolutely.
compromise.
I agree.
So, Sunrise Farms plantain chips, sea salted. Love them. That's it. On what you eating.
all right.
I picked up another 5-pound bag of Black Rifle coffee.
Wow. 5 pounds?
That's what you drinking.
Hmm?
That's what you drinking.
Yeah.
How do you keep that fresh?
Ranch water and Black Rifle coffee.
Oh, hell, we go through it in, I don't know, 3 weeks.
What do you drink a day, Ed? How many pots?
So the pace has been, I drink a pod first thing in the morning because I can't wait for the freaking pot to brew. So I drink a pod, and then I brew a pot, and I'll drink half the pot, sometimes half to whole. If I drink only half a pot, I might have a pod later. So I don't know what that equates to. I mean, the cups on the pot is not the same as a regular cup, right? So I don't know. I probably wind up drinking the equivalent of a pot a day. The cool thing is, though, whatever's left at the end of the day, I've been refrigerating it. Bryce stopped buying $3 and $5 energy drinks, and he's drinking that stuff, whatever's left over, cold. So it's getting completely, used and not wasted, and saving some significant money, because those energy drinks, the energy drinks are trash, first of all. I don't know all of the ingredients, but I thought I'd heard like there's enough acid in there where they have to like coat the freaking aluminum can, or else it'd eat through the aluminum can. If you ever open one of those cans up, they've got like that rubberized lining in them.
Mm-hmm.
That can be good.
Well, have you ever left Coca-Cola spilled on concrete?
I've never done that, but I cleaned the soap out of my Camelback with a Coke, and it worked really good.
So I've seen Cokes.
I made the mistake of washing my Camelback with like Dawn, and not knowing that it would literally like seep into the pores of the bladder.
Right.
And I'm up there in Colorado, all cool, drinking my damn cow. I take a drink, and it tastes like soap.
Tastes like Dawn.
Yeah, and so for like 2 days, I'm drinking soapy water, basically.
Delicious.
And I got the bright idea when I got back to Kent one night, and I knew that some folks had done the whole toilet Coca-Cola test, that cleans your toilet. And so I put it in my bladder, my Camelback bladder, and shook it around, and it got rid of it.
I'll be damned. Did it taste like Coke water after that?
A little bit. That wasn't bad.
It's better than soap water, I guess.
It's damn sight better than soap water.
I know, but Coke's you can clean battery acid off your car with Coke. You can but I've seen Coke that is sat on a concrete and literally has eaten up the concrete.
Really?
So that's a fact.
I could see concrete absorbing it, but you'd have to it's not breaking down concrete.
Well, these were Cokes that were in storage, right? And one of them that broke, busted or whatever, right? So they were all stacked up, sat there for a while. But yeah, but literally the acid in the Coke, it's got acid in it. That's how you clean a battery acid. It's the corrosive acid in there. So yeah, so
Tales from East Texas.
All right.
What have you been eating, Craig?
I don't think I've talked about this. I've made discussion about Beyond Meat burgers. I've talked about that numerous times. So I've made this a couple of different times. So I apologize to the audience if I'm repeating, but I don't think I am. So the Beyond Meat sausages, the sausage, it's full on, and
are they really called sausages? Because that's like a dog treat.
Yeah, no, they're sausage. They don't say sausage.
Craig's manner of speaking.
That'd be a marketing faux pas there.
Yeah, no, but it's Beyond Meat sausages, and dude, so last night I make this with asparagus, bell peppers, onion. What else do they have in there? Asparagus, bell pepper, onion. Seemed like there was something else in these vegetables sauteed, and you don't cook them too long. You want to stay a little crunchy in an olive oil, and then you make your gluten-free pasta, and then you make your meatless sausages. Now, the best way to do it is put them on a grill. So grill these dudes, and then slice them up, and then toss them with the vegetables that have been sauteed in olive oil. The pasta you take and you put butter and salt on. So you got butter, salt on the pasta. You got the vegetables that are sauteed in olive oil. Again, you kind of want them al dente, and then you toss the sausage with that, and then throw it all together. A little stinking Parmesan cheese on top, fresh. And dude, it's badass. And you don't know you're not eating meat. You get through that whole meal, no meat.
Now the Beyond Meat, is that the plant-based or is that the lab-grown stuff?
Plant-based. Okay. Yeah. So,
you just reminded me I need to clean the grill so that we can grill some fajitas tonight.
You got to try. Have you tried any of the non-meat stuff, Ed?
I don't think I have. I think I've done the. No, I've told you I've done the lentil. I think I tried a lentil burger, but it's not the same, right?
Yeah, it's not the same. You got trust me on these. I keep telling everybody you got to try these. It's next level. It's a way, again, I'm a meat eater. I'll have sausage today, real sausage that I'll make for breakfast and stuff. But I mean, it's you've got to gradually move away from. I think some of the meat products. We eat a lot of meat. You can eat a salad for lunch, straight up, no protein. But
I
then
don't
when you
eat a
get to
lot of meat,
dinner,
Craig.
what's that?
I eat beef maybe once a week, if that.
I bet you eat beef, chicken, or fish with every meal.
Chicken or fish, yes, but beef, I eat only maybe once a week.
Well,
So,
hey, bud,
that's
meat
what's hardest to
is
digest.
meat is
but
also chicken. It's
I
you like
know.
my mother-in-law when Laura was a vegetarian. She'd tell Laura she's a kid, and Tanya's mom. Laura would say, "Oh, Mama, I'm a vegetarian. I can't eat that." She's, "Oh, honey, it's chicken."
I just say for me at my age, beef is harder to. I know, like regardless of whatever data or statistics there is out there, I feel like beef for me is harder to digest than chicken or fish.
Oh, it is. I mean, I think the data will back you up on that.
Yeah.
Red meat is absolutely. I mean, red meat actually, and we'd have to do some research, but red meat's actually got I don't know if it triggers a hormone that's carcinogen or in the meat itself as a carcinogen, but red meat actually, that's why high consumption of red meats can increase your risk of cancer. Because there's something about red meat that the way your body does it or whatever, there's a carcinogen effect to it. But I watched something I did get to catch this week. I
It would be
recorded
interesting
it.
to hear the other side of the argument, though.
What would the other side be, bud?
Eat more meat, right?
Which the keto crowd will tell you. Which there's again, I don't I'm a firm believer in ketosis, and I'm a firm believer in that whole keto way. But
it requires a different lifestyle.
Well, and I'm not completely convinced that straight up animal protein is the most healthy option.
So you're saying,
I think,
if you want to live as long as cavemen did, which I don't think was very long.
Yeah, and I I'm pushing for 100 plus. So if I'm going past 100, I don't. I gotta think all these things through, right?
Yeah. Well, and the good thing is I'll only have to live to like 92 to see your 100, so that's good.
And that's very plausible.
Oh yeah, big time.
What's this?
This is the Liver King.
Liver King.
Ooh, yeah.
You gotta, Craig. You gotta
That's a
watch some of this guy's videos. This guy he's a meat eater, so he does like bone marrow with every single.
Raw.
He does raw liver. He eats like straight up just raw meat. I don't know if this guy does steroids either, but he's the guy to talk about the meat eating. Guy's insane though. Look at.
He's pretty well cut. Although Brian's pretty cut up. Brian would be able to make a case for eating tons of meat. He's an animal protein guy. But that doesn't again but again, so much of this, right? This is always my thing. It's right. Physical appearance, and that guy's obviously super cut, looks super good, right? I would love to look like that. But it's the same thing when we talk about healthy eating and weight loss. The focus in this society and all of us, maybe it's forever, but I guess it is forever, right? Because you've had throughout time, people's shape and physical appearance has kind of always been like judged as to what looked good or bad, right? And my whole thing is like, try not to worry about the physical aspects as much as the internal aspects. How do you score? how do you feel? And those are the best two metrics. How do you score and how do you feel? Because if these, animal protein dudes across all their metabolic scores are cranking it out, and there's, the science doesn't back up, the possibility of it causing cancer and all. In other words, if you have the scores to back it up and you feel amazing, then I think those are your biggest judges. That's what really people are, in this. So I appreciate how great that fellow looks. And maybe his scores are amazing. I don't know. But I just know that what research I've been able to do, you need a bit more of a balance between. And there's a part of me that's starting to really think that we probably should have very little animal protein. There's lots of places to get protein. And, there's one doctor, he describes it as, he's like, you look at a gorilla in the jungle, they're pretty well cut up, aren't they? I mean, if you look at it, they're pretty dadgum strong. You wouldn't want to get in a wrestling match with a gorilla.
No.
So where are we moving to, Ed? What's the next step?
Getting out of this chair.
Well, we didn't do a quote. You got no
I'm
quote.
Ready.
Is that
I'm
because
ready.
you can bring one? Did
No.
you not bring one?
Oh, really?
Are you trying to
Is
avoid
this
it
my
'cause you
first
didn't
day?
come prepared?
Is this my first day?
It is not.
Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not.
Ooh.
Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Epicurus, Greek philosopher.
Oh, you stoic lover. Epicurus. Nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is true, though. Well, to some extent. Sometimes you have stuff that you never wanted and you have it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I'll give you a Yellowstone quote as a bonus. There are sharks and minnows in this world. If you don't know which you are, you ain't a shark. I like that
That
one.
was the one I heard on there that I thought was a great quote. What was the quote that I heard? I told Tanya that was.
Hell, we've got a year's worth of podcasts with just Yellowstone quotes.
I'll have to think about it. I'll give mine. Here's my quote.
You were watching with Tanya? Maybe it was, I look at every day with you as a gift. Maybe that was.
That's
maybe
what it was. Yeah. She said that to me, actually. So she did pick up on that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you want my quote, Ed, or are we just going to do yours?
Sure. Go for it. What do you got?
So this one I want you to listen to because I kind of think of you when I read this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Instead of suiting up in a life jacket to save us from the tides of change, try reaching for a surfboard.
Now, why do you think of me? It's either because I resist change.
You do.
You think I do?
And you also
change resistant?
You also have a tendency to
That's
first
kind of like saying
first
I'd
reach
bury
for a-
myself alive just to prove I can handle a shovel. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's not what I was trying to say. I'm trying to say that you tend to be risk adverse, and you will be more likely to strap on a life jacket prior to jumping into the water of change.
Gotcha.
So when you see change coming, you reach for life jackets, not a surfboard. Just saying. Not always. There's other people in my life that have similar properties to that I think
Great.
of. But it's not a bad thing. It's not anything you get your feelings hurt about.
Oh, my feelings aren't hurt.
Yeah, I can tell your feelings are hurt. See, you're all bummed out. Now you're going to think about that the rest of the day.
I'm not going to think about the rest of the day. What I'm thinking about is I'm trying to think like I should have been in the insurance business. That's what I was
That's
thinking.
absolutely where you should have been.
I should have
I
been.
tell everybody.
What the hell do they call those guys that do the actual calculations?
Oh,
Actuary.
Actuary, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Should have been an actuary.
Why should you have been
I'm
that?
joking. That sounds totally boring.
Yeah, I tell everybody. There was somebody with a kid. I said, look, they got young kids. I said, tell them to grow up. They want to be an insurance salesman or a golfer. I mean, seriously. If you've got the ability, the talent to be a golfer, go that route. You got one employee, right? That's it. and they're there for advice. You basically live and die by what you do, right? And
Yeah.
and so you got golfing, and then insurance sales guy. You start out as solo, especially when you're young. You got nothing to lose. You start building a book of business. Nobody really pays. And an insurance guy can be as good or as average as they want to be, right? You can literally throw it because the government continues to create demand, right? So demand is automatically manufactured. It never goes away, and it continually changes as the government continues to push for more demand. And so you've got an ever-increasing demand that's always fixed, and everybody just...
And it's recession-proof.
It's recession-proof. It's everything-proof. And then once you build a book of business, you own it. You can't get fired, You basically have that, and over time, and like I said, you can decide, do I want to do this by myself and just be a solo guy? One guy that I deal with, that's all he does. He's a solo guy, he just rocks along, makes a living. And then I know another guy that's got this huge business, got all these people working for. Telling you, 2 career choices for your young kids looking up: golfer, insurance salesman. Best 2 career choices you could make. You disagree with that, Ed?
I don't disagree. I do think that, over the last 20 years or so, I would say pre, this self-service internet era, obviously brick and mortar insurance agents, if you will, were the commonplace. And there's a lot of other products now, online and otherwise, that have displaced some of that. So yeah, I think there's more competition, but it's not lost on me that there's still some value to having an agent. I haven't, a personal actual insurance agent, that I deal with. They represent a national product, and they have an app and all that cool stuff, but I actually have somebody I can talk to.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying. That's what I'm saying. There's a value in actually being an actual agent. Right. And because 90% of the people, I bet you, don't even know who their agent is. We did talk a little produce today. Is there anything within the industry that's of big notoriety? The International Fresh Produce Association, IFPA, I think it is. They're up and running. They got all kinds of stuff going on, getting geared up for their big show.
Yeah. Viva planning is underway. TIPA Hall of Fame banquet is on Monday.
Tomorrow. Oh, that's right. You're the MC.
I'm emceeing.
All right, Mr. Bertod, it's been a pleasure. Mason, it's been great.
Hey, follow us at the Fresh Cred on Instagram, at the Fresh Cred on YouTube, at Cred Fresh on Twitter, and now new and improved, at the Fresh Cred on Facebook.
Facebook, baby.
On the Facebook.
We are on the Facebook, man. Do you know how excited I have never been on the Facebook. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited to vicariously live through the Fresh Cred via Facebook. It's exciting times. So please, y'all, hit us up. I know there's a lot of Facebookers out there. This is what you guys been waiting for. This is how to connect with the Fresh Cred, and we're bringing it to you. All right. Well, Ed, it's been an absolute frazzling pleasure once again to be with you today. You've put me on tilt for a great day.
To quote Patrick Swayze in Ghost,
yeah,
ditto.
All right, brother. I'll ditto right back at you. Everybody have a great day.
Have a good week.
Y'all take care. We'll see you guys. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.